Co-op selected.
This is how Pugman ties up loose ends.
Yeah, that's how you do it, peoples. That's how I tidy my bedroom. And welcome back, friends. Welcome. Hello, Chippants.
Hey.
I think we're right at the end now, Chippants.
You think so?
Because it says tie up loose ends.
What loose ends can there be? Does this mean defeat the bad Ada or Carla once and for all? What do you think?
What happened to Chris and in the water? Was Ada involved in any of that? I guess not.
I don't think so. I don't think we saw her down there. And I don't know what this facility is. We haven't been here before.
Yeah, where the hell are we, Chippants?
This is new. I can't even... Ooh, we're being scanned. This is where...
when they scan, it probably comes up as one person.
What?
One
Am I
person.
ghost?
This is where Carla did her experiments, huh?
This is where a little British girl says you're all going to die down here.
I can't even choose guns.
No, neither can I. And we're walking all slow. There you go. Press your button, Miss Ada.
Okay.
Look at all these TV screens.
Another failure. Bring me another subject. Why do you think we had this lab built here in the first place? Just go outside. There's thousands of subjects to choose from. Tell Simmons that we're busy. I'm on the verge of solving this. Are you refusing my orders? You're the one who chose me as a test subject, aren't you?
No, it was Simmons. He forced me to. Please, don't do this!
Believe it or not, I said the exact same thing. Finally done it. This will be my greatest work yet.
That didn't solve anything.
Not really, Chippants, except that Carla was involved in this experimentation, right?
I guess so. I'm not sure. That did not tie up any loose ends whatsoever.
We're beyond sympathy at this point. We're beyond humanity.
This is how Pugman ties up loose
Yeah,
ends.
that's how you do it, peoples. That's how I tidy my bedroom.
Oh, it's a picture.
A job, huh? Sure. My schedule just cleared.
Well, there you go, friends. That makes it all clear for me. I hope it's all clear for you. How about you, Chippants?
This is a false This is an
Well,
illusion.
all I've got from it is that
What?
I assume that's Simmons's lab where she was born, the clone, and she's destroyed it all. So it can't happen again.
That is not acceptable.
And Simmons cloned Ada. She took care of the clone, took care of Simmons. Not too sure why the clone went
Rogue.
went rogue, went AWOL.
We didn't even have a proper ending with
Well,
that
we're going
one.
to get a little cut at the end now, Chippants.
That's all we've been seeing in this with Ada is these cutscenes.
Yeah, I feel more confused now than I did before.
Right.
Because so much stuff has happened over a period of time at different times. I'm just trying to link it all together.
And it's not happening. They've just thrown in this person named Carla in the last...
Now, Carla, I believe, is... I'm assuming is from Resident Evil 4. And
Okay.
I'm not sure who this Carla is.
It's
I'm
like
going to have to look that up.
They may have just plucked her name out of a hat and said, who can we make a clone out of Ada, but it's not really a clone because it's Carla.
Yes, that's what I didn't get. That's what I don't... It looks like Ada, but it's Carla.
It's Carla. And why was... If Carla was well aware, like, why was she trying to frame Ada? What had Ada done to her? It's like the world's going to blame you. Why does she care? Why does she have such hatred towards Ada?
I don't know, Chippants. All I know is I've got guns and I've got to shoot some zombies.
I guess so.
What did you think of the chapter?
I am not happy.
I'm not impressed with this chapter because some of it seemed so rushed. Even like you said at the end, in the cutscene, she didn't even get to finish her sentence.
Not at all.
It's like they really rushed that last chapter. I like the idea of what they were going for.
Uh-huh.
Of going back in time from a different angle and a different point of view.
Yes, of course. But I don't feel like we got to see much new, from Ada's perspective, a little bit at the beginning of her chapter when we were on we were finding out.
Yeah.
Someone sent her to that underground or that underwater sub, whatever that was.
Yeah.
When it was Ada that sent her there to begin with, for whatever reason, or Carla. I'm
a bit confused about that bit.
Even when I go through and watch the recording, I still probably be confused because I'm focused. I'm concentrating on the story. I'm playing it.
Are you sure you're focused, Chippants?
I'm pretty focused.
Okay.
There's pugs in the way sometimes, but I'm pretty focused when there's a cutscene, and I feel pretty darn lost. But this was the first game that we got to play as different characters throughout, different stories, but all linear with each other. That was interesting. I'll give them that. It's different.
Yeah, that was interesting, but...
Because no way would I have been satisfied with playing Chris and Pierce through the whole thing.
No. But this, like I said, this last chapter, it just seems scrapped together too quickly. The whole... The other person, the agent, George...
Just agent. We don't even get a name. Agent.
They didn't integrate him well. There was no co-op.
None. I'm so disappointed.
That was a bit bad. I mean, because the co-op before that was brilliant with Jake and Sherry.
Yes.
So...
And it was pretty good for the others as well. But the best co-op experience was Shake, for sure. The best story was Shake.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. What would you rate this chapter, Chippants?
This chapter, I give like a 2 out of 10. And that's being
like I was saying, at the beginning, it was puzzles. And I thought, okay, this might be quite good going. If it kept it all puzzles all the way through, maybe.
Oh, you mean like when we were in the cemetery section? Yeah, that was okay.
They didn't keep that up. But even with the puzzles, you couldn't really get that involved with it.
Nope. I can only spot stuff for you, and even then, because I can't press buttons, they don't highlight like this is something to press, you know?
And some of it was so hectic. Like, just constant action, I'm just charging in a room just to grab a key or something, and there's I keep getting hit and hit and hit.
Exactly. So what's our climax? So there's at the end of every game, we are supposed to have a climax battle, you know?
Yeah,
and
with Simmons, Chippants. And then her shooting up the lab, I guess.
But we didn't do that. That was a cutscene. There was no, I've only played one other Resident Evil, you know, number 5.
Yeah.
And there was a big final Wesker scene at the end. And that took us a while to get through, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that was tough. But there was nothing, you know?
Yeah. So overall,
I mean, but it'll be left with the final taste in my mouth. If it left off with Shake, you know, Sherry
that's true,
and Jake,
isn't it? Yeah.
I would have been so loving the game. But because it left off with Ada, I'm not happy.
No. You know, I would advise if somebody's playing this, I think they should whap that skill up to hard, whichever one's the hardest, to at least get the most from it. It's a long game, and I think it would be a bit more fun if it was a bit more tougher, maybe a bit low on ammo. Because it's just too much blasting. Let's take the helicopter scene, for example. I'm just holding down the mouse button.
That's true.
Don't care, just
Yeah.
brain dead, just hold down the mouse button. Not much to it.
But even still, if we were down to just melee, you weren't happy with how their melees were with anybody except...
No, I liked her crossbow.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, but that's a weapon. I mean, if you want to be low on ammo, you'll have to be down to hand.
That's true.
But okay. Whose chapter? Rank them in order.
Okay,
your
look.
favorites.
My favourite chapter to play, co-op in, Leon and Helena. slow zombies. And it was quite frightening at the start with the lift, with the kid in the lift and getting out the car park and then driving the car.
Yeah.
Then second chapter, most favourite would be Jake or Shake. At the beginning, it was still a hectic chapter, but near the end, it had great co-op.
And great story.
A great story, and the characters were funny, and I quite liked that. And it had a scary boss.
Yeah, that's true.
And that finale was good. The finale of that chapter was awesome.
Epic.
And then we had, I guess, Chris and Piers next. Simply because at least they made the co-op in it.
Yes.
And it pushed the story a fair bit, I guess. But not quite an enjoyable chapter to play. Too much action and whatnot.
Yes.
And then this chapter. Overall, the story, not that great, I don't think.
No. I was like, they spend so much time on graphics and putting a game together. You think the story should be there, you know?
In parts it was, but overall, like you said, the final taste in your mouth, we played the chapters in order, and this is how it's finished. To me, it's not wrapped stuff up.
I think they touched on some really interesting things with like Jake's blood, you know, what were we doing with Jake's blood, you know? And it's like, oh, you just use Jake's blood to make a stronger something or other, you know? It's like, well, what, you know?
Yeah.
What was that? Who made?
Yeah,
who took
I'm still boggled about this Ada thing, to tell you the truth, Chippants. I'll be thinking about that for a while.
You'll probably get madder about it as time goes on. Like right now, it's not sunk in yet, right?
I've just got to know who what's her Carla is.
Yeah.
I'm going to find that out in a minute, and I'm going to put
we
that in there.
shouldn't have to. We should. I mean,
Shouldn't have to, but it's forcing us to, Chippants.
It is forcing us to. Oh. But, I mean, I don't even like Ada. I don't like her.
I don't like Ada either. She's cool. The character's cool. You know, dresses cool, acts cool.
That
but
whole...
don't really... There's no bond to her. Kind of cool design, though. And...
jerking Leon around.
Yeah.
They didn't even fully wrap that up about, you know, I left you something on the roof. They didn't.
All right, here we go. This is going to wrap it up right now.
Oh, please do. Please give me something, Capcom.
Capcom.
Is it after this?
I hope it's after this. I don't think it is.
Pugman got a crown on the last one.
Let me have a look. I just got a lot of achievements.
Okay. Ada can now be used with the extra content. I don't care.
Okay.
Okay, what else we get?
Well, I got the crown at the end of the day. That's very important, Chippants.
That is very good.
So I'm the king at the end of the day.
What?
Let's hopefully get a cutscene. I don't think it's going to happen.
Please.
Oh, here we go.
If you get one and I don't, I'll be upset. I'm at the load screen.
I'm watching.
Really?
Yes.
I don't see anything. I'm at the start menu.
Shut up, Chippants.
I believe we had a deal.
Oh my god.
What?
Shh. I think it's Jake.
What?
Are you going to keep your promise?
Chills.
I see nothing.
Fair is fair, kid.
Oh my god. We didn't wrap anything up, Chippants, that's for sure.
It
I
didn't.
I don't understand the cutscene, but it was kind of cool.
Well, what happened?
Alright, Chippants, picture this.
Okay, come on, tell
You're
me.
in the Middle East.
Okay.
There's a little boy, he's nervous.
He's nervous.
And then there's a man, he's dressed like Assassin's Creed. That means he's got like a hood over him, you don't know who it is.
Okay.
And then the boy says, the tall guy says to him, what did he say, Peoples?
It sounds like you're setting up a joke, but go on.
I'm not setting up a joke. He said something like, are you going to pay up or something? And the kid was like, yeah, sure. And he hands him an apple. You remember at the beginning, Jake had an apple? He was eating an apple. Right?
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was Jake. He gives Jake the apple, and then he steps outside. There's a bunch of, look like dinosaur kind of zombies.
Okay.
And then he rips off his cape, and it's Jake. And he's ready. He pulls his gun. He's ready to rock and roll. The end.
That's it?
What do you mean that's it? Had Jake and an apple.
Jake and an apple. Nothing about the story, though?
No, that was it, Chippants. I guess Jake got on his motorbike to go to the Middle East somewhere.
So I guess he's going to be in the next game. The next Resident Evil. They're setting
Well, he's
that up.
a cool character. Yeah.
Yeah. Does this mean that Sherry gets to be in the next one too again?
You never know. You never know when sweet little Sherry may pop up.
That would be who I would want to see the most in the next game, all the way through.
The bigger thing is, Chippants, it didn't give you the cutscene. It didn't give poor old George the cutscene.
I'm shaking my head over this. I have invested, as much time,
What you have to do, Chippants,
What?
bring up your browser. You put in youtube.com
Oh.
and you put in Pugman Plays. And then you watch the video. You grab a sandwich and a drink and you watch it.
But anybody else that doesn't, was playing co-op with their partner and wasn't recording it.
You're like, what the hell just happened? Okay.
Better taste in the mouth at the end of that?
No.
No, don't have a better.
No, not really.
Okay.
All right, Chippants, let's have a quick look at the little bits of extras.
Okay.
And we'll come back after I've looked into who the hell... What's her name, Chippants?
Ada or
No,
Carla?
Carla is.
Carla.
So we'll let you know right about now. Okay, Chippants, done a little bit of researching.
Okay, yes.
All right, we found out Carla was a researcher for Simmons back in the day. She was a smart little
Cookie.
scientist, yeah. So Simmons took her on her team, And it was her that discovered the C-virus working under Simmons.
Got it.
And it turns out, I think in 2001, Simmons fell in love for Ada.
Okay.
For Ada Wong. But she rejected him. And so he just became obsessed with her. So that provoked him to start something called Project Ada. Basically what he'd wanted to do was recreate Ada as an Ada that loved him back.
Right.
And Carla was involved in that project. And I think they were running that project out of the quad tower in China. Okay, from the game. And yeah, Carla was the head researcher. They tried it thousands of times trying to recreate the perfect Ada Wong. They kept failing, but from those fails, they did make that stink monster that we dealt with in the church. Remember
That's
him?
right. Tall
And
oaks.
Yeah, and on the aeroplane. And also B-Man.
Oh,
Yeah, that
man.
jerk. But they tried it thousands of times. It failed thousands of times. And then Simmons realised there was something in Carla that would make her the perfect candidate. So he kind of double-crossed her and used her in the experiment.
Got it.
And that's when we saw her being born again as Ada from the egg sac or whatever that Leon saw on the videotape, that said happy birthday.
Right.
And so when she was reborn, so when Carla was reborn as Ada, she didn't have any memory as Carla. She thought she actually was Ada Wong, but she was the clone.
Okay.
So generally, and she also loved Simmons, but generally over time, she kind of was getting voices in her head or whatever, say, getting kind of faint memories that she was Carla or that Simmons had betrayed her.
Right.
And that didn't make sense to her, so she started to go a bit psychotic. And started to still following Simmons's plans, but starting to work against him. Okay, she's the one who formed Neo Umbrella. She was in charge of all of that.
Got it.
And basically at some point decided that she's just going to destroy everything Simmons created. Yeah, so she formed she formed Neo Umbrella, which was operating in China, and she used the C-virus to test on subjects out there. She tested it on one subject, and in the lab he lost his arm, and that subject became the Unster tank, which is basically Patches.
Patches. Good old Patches.
Yeah, so she basically treated Patches like she was his mother. And they formed a bond, and he would do whatever she would say, and they were closely bonded. Apparently she talked really kindly and softly to him, and Mr. Patches did what she said.
Oh.
You wouldn't believe it from Mr. Patches. I mean, he was a lunatic.
I remember that scene, with Jake and Sherry, and he was waiting for her orders.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that's true. Okay.
So he was slightly controlled. He wasn't completely insane.
Okay.
Maybe she even combed his little patch of hair.
Gross. Little bitch come out.
Yeah, basically her group, the Neo Umbrella,
She formed all those clown men. She brought them all together.
She was given those clown men by the family. Right.
I read some interesting stuff about the
Go
family.
on, tell me about the family, Chippants.
Just a couple of times that it came up in the game, I was like, who is this family? They keep bringing it up, like Simmons,
Yeah.
These helicopter men came along in the end, and they shot him up, and he was like, no, my family, how could you do this to me?
Yeah.
And then, so that got me thinking, who's this family? And it turns out that it's just like a centuries old organization that they have considerable influence globally. And their overall goal is to ensure global stability under their oversight. So they just want to control it all, but they do want it stable. They don't want chaos.
Okay. Oh, they don't want chaos.
They don't want chaos.
But it's their kind of chaos, though, right? I mean, their definition of chaos, meaning it's like they're a bunch of elites They're putting out some chaos in the world, but they control that chaos.
Exactly. They're they want to be.
They're in the
rulers
driver's
of
seat,
it.
and other people can't challenge their situation where their family, their control, their power. Because everybody's
Exactly.
living in that chaos apart from them. Something like that.
Yes, and you know those snakes that were intertwined. We saw those symbols, and we thought that they were Simmons' family.
Yeah.
It is Simmons' family. His Simmons family, centuries ago, are ones that formed this.
I guess
you
it
know,
was
this group.
those British guys that I said at the beginning of this Let's Play.
Yes.
Are probably the family.
Probably part. Yeah, absolutely. You know, but at least a part of it, maybe.
And
a
he's just a
section.
descendant from them
Exactly.
running the show.
Right.
But they had enough of him, right?
They
Because he was
did.
losing his mind with all this Ada Wong
Ada
stuff.
Exactly.
So they
And-
kicked him out of the family. He's not fit to run it. At least the Asia part. I think he was in
Yes.
charge of the Asia part.
And they also decided to kill the Ada, project as well. So that's why
Yeah.
she got shot up by the helicopter men as well.
Yeah, her main thing was to create a massive biological organic weapon called Chaos, which was that squid. And that was a
Squidward.
facility underwater.
Yes.
Squidworth.
Yeah, exactly.
And the idea was that this one could split into multiple pieces and still live, thus spread the virus further.
Got it. Well, they said that we killed her, though. I didn't think that we did. I thought it was so.
We killed her
quick.
with the liquid nitrogen Chippants, and but you never know in this game.
It's true. You never know.
And the scene that you didn't see with Jake, apparently, it's hinting at that the C virus has mutated. Like, Jake's got the antibodies for the C virus. It's called anti-C,
Okay.
but they're suggesting that the C virus has mutated in another place in the world, creating new monsters or whatever. But Jake's got a new purpose to save the world, and he's out there kicking ass, Jake style. I didn't see little Sherry, but we can't call him Shake yet.
Oh, I hope she does end up, teaming back up with them. That'd be awesome.
I think that about sums it up.
More so than
Chippants.
what we learned in the
Oh
game.
yeah.
I don't
maybe
understand.
we did learn it, and maybe
We
because of
didn't.
all the little action bits, I kind of missed stuff.
No, if it's important, they put it in a cutscene.
Yeah.
You can't just give me sentences while I'm fighting zombies, and expect me to catch that.
Okay, friends. Well, that was Resident Evil 6.
Oh, I'm kind of sad it's over.
I'm a
happy.
little bit sad that it's over, especially now I get a little bit better understanding of what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
forward
still
to
an
the next
interesting
one.
story. I could go back and kind of watch the story, knowing what I know now. Just
See what
other things
we
make a
can
little
learn.
bit more sense. Oh, you also read Chippants about why they killed the president at the beginning.
That's right. He had discovered what the family,
Was about to do, and he's about to give a speech, right, at the
Yes,
university.
and Simmons, he did decide to kill him because he couldn't let it. They didn't want anybody finding out that the family's behind it because that foils
Yeah.
their plan. Don't need to know who's operating.
They have to
puppet.
work in the shadows, people.
Absolutely, people reject the leaders.
So yeah, well,
That makes sense. It makes more sense.
it does. You looking forward to Resident Evil 7, Chippants?
It depends who's going to be leading it. If I get more Pierce and
Chris Redfield. How can you forget Chris Redfield? Big muscles. He's the original Chippants, him and Jill. And
No.
Pugman. They saved them. I won't go into it. It's in the beginning.
No.
They were saving the world a long time ago, those three.
I need more likable characters to play as than those two. But it was still interesting to follow them for a little segment of this game.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was good. Overall, what's your score of the game?
Overall, Chippants is a co-op game. I'm only going to rate it as co-op. Get it on if you get it on sale. You know what? I'll give it a 6 or 7 out of 10 for the amount of length it is. You're getting bang for buck for playing with a friend, having a laugh.
It was about...
It's not short, that's for sure.
How long would you say? It was about 28 hours?
Yeah, well, we're slow and steady though, Chippants.
We didn't blast through it.
But,
We were
it is quite a decently lengthed game.
yes.
The gameplay's alright. Some good co-op bits in it. Half interesting story.
Another one under the belt. I'm so happy.
Yes, Chippants. And well, you didn't really complete it with me at the end, did you, Chippants? Because you're just the agent.
I'm gonna go watch it here in just a minute, and then I'm gonna say I completed it. Yes.
With a sandwich and a drink, Chippants.
Good stuff.
Okay, friends. Thanks for watching. I had fun.
Me too.
Chippants had fun. Hope you had fun too. Till next time, take care of each other. Bye-bye.
Save and quit.